confronting victory in the Coolmore Lexington. Crimson Hero had to settle for second, close for third. The time 1 minute 44 in 2/5 seconds.
He's done it again. Wayne Lukas wins the Coolmore Lexington and no doubt will be going on to the Derby with Proud Citizen, ridden by Mike Smith, the victory today in the Coolmore Lexington Stakes.
The way he finished the last 16th of a mile there, putting distance on the rest of the field, I don't think there is much doubt that Wayne's going to go on to the Derby. He doesn't need a shove to get to the Derby anyway with a horse like this. And you can see here at the top of the stretch, he's right alongside American Style, who is one of the horses trained by Nick Zito, showing a lot more speed than usual. This was a bizarre race, actually. I mean, Ethan Mann didn't break as well as he usually does. He got caught 5 or 6 wide into the first turn. Madday had no choice but to drop him back. Then he was dead last, and basically Proud Citizen inherited the lead in 48 for a half mile and certainly made the most of his opportunity. He draws off very impressively. Wayne told me before the Santa Anita Derby, he said, I know this sounds funny, but I'm basically using the Santa Anita Derby as a prep for the Lexington, and then we'll see where that takes us. And it looks like it's taking him to Louisville.
And the people that laughed when he brought in that claimer named Charismatic. Why is he trying this? Who could ever doubt Lukas when he gets this close to the Derby? With Proud Citizen picking up the win, it is the 3rd time in Lucas's career that he has won this race. We'll have more from Lexington. Mike Smith celebrating with Proud Citizen, the proud winner of the Lexington Stakes here today at Keeneland.
The best of the Champions League is on UEFA Champions League Weekly. Find out how the teams are preparing themselves for the semifinals. Today on ESPN.
Welcome back to Keeneland, where Proud Citizen has won the Coolmore Lexington Stakes. The last time he was in the winner's circle, the only other time he was in the winner's circle, was when he broke his maiden June 28th last year at Belmont. He now picks up his 2nd win in this Grade 2 race. He has over $237,000 in his career and a great hunch that he has punched a ticket to Churchill Downs in 2 weeks. And with the man who will have that answer, Wayne Lukas, is Charles C. Canty.
Well, Wayne Lukas and Mike Smith are standing here analyzing what went wrong, but mostly everything went right. Apparently, Mike, you hit the gate pretty good?
Well, the one horse got a little anxious in there and false broke and busted through the gates. Well, of course, my horse thought it was time to go. Proud did, and he jumped forward and hit his head so hard. I was really concerned. And, you know, it dazed him for a little while. He kind of sat back and actually sat too quiet, and I got away a little slow, but I was scared to move after that, you know. But after he got away and I got him up on his feet, he went right onto the lead and just handled everything really well. I asked him just to kind of sprint away from the horses from, I'd say, the 8th pole to the wire, and after that, he was just on cruise.
And he just opened up. Wayne, obviously you used the Santa Anita Derby as a prep for this horse. You said the other then didn't go. He was heavy out there. He needed the race. He obviously got what he wanted.
Well, I was embarrassed to even admit that to you, but we felt that we had to have something, and I know that was ambitious, but Alex Solis was so good to get him ready for Mike and give him a race out there, which tightened him up. By the way, Robert and Christina Baker, who own part of this horse, are at home watching. And I want to tell Christina that she wanted a big hat horse. Well, she's got a big hat horse right now.
I know they'll be there along with David Kornstein. Of course, Bill Mack is here. Good team. Great congratulations. We're going to look again now. Wayne, you look like this colt was just in charge pretty much all the way. A big threat here from your Arch Derby rival, Nick Zito, on the outside there with American Style. But
well, right now I feel like we're getting pretty much into it. I think he took about 50 yards, am I right, Mike, to kind of get his act together right there. But now he's cruising to the wire, and I still don't think we've gotten to the bottom of him. Definitely he's still carrying good flesh, but he's got a great mind and he responds to what we're trying to do, and I think we can take it from here to a new level.
Is that new level up about 75 miles up the road at Churchill Downs, I'm assuming?
Do we have to decide today?
Yes.
No, we'll take a very serious look at it, and I feel like, you know, this thing has been good to me before. I've had a couple of horses run 1 second here and do well, and then, of course, Charismatic ran here and did well. So it's not a complete big hurdle to go overcome, but we'll look at it and see what happens.
Right, they want you to go to the infield and get your picture made and get a trophy. Congratulations to you both.
We want to go.
Well, you're on your way. Believe me, when a man is saddling over 50% winners at a meet, don't let him go off at much of a price, especially if his name is Wayne Lukas.
He has been red hot here, Wayne Lukas, during this meet. There's the highest priced Keeneland sales graduate in this field. Proud Citizen was purchased for $425,000. He's making that up in a hurry if he keeps winning these graded stakes, Randy.
Yeah, and I guess he's proven he can take a punch if he hit his head against the starting gate that hard just moments before the race. Let's actually take a look at the start and see what happened once they reloaded Mucho Rapido. Now, Proud Citizen's never been that good of a gate horse to begin with. He got left a couple of times last year as a 2-year-old when he reared in the gate. Maybe this time he was just too dazed to go back on his hind legs. No, he didn't break sharply at all. And if you look out in post 7 in the yellow silks, the gold silks, Ethan Man broke a lot better than Proud Citizen did. As a matter of fact, Ethan Man was right up here head and head for the lead at this point, but appeared as if, you see him on the far outside, he just didn't have the get up and go. And Mike Smith here with the white silks now right along the inside of those horses. He'll scoot Proud Citizen away and open up and take control of the race. Proud Citizen was a very promising horse as a 2-year-old. He developed some physical problems last September after the Hopeful, one of those bad start races that he had. You know, Wayne checked him out, went over him, found a spur. They went in and corrected it. And this spring at Santa Anita, Lucas said that this is what he said, he didn't really think of Proud Citizen as a Derby horse, thought he was too far behind, but every workout got better than the one before. They said it reminded him a lot of Thunder Gulch, the way he came along in his workouts, so they decided to give him a shot in the Santa Anita Derby in this race, and that's the prescription for yet another D. Wayne Lucas Kentucky Derby starter.
And who would have thought only Lucas probably could use the Santa Anita Derby as a prep for the Coolmore Lexington.
Yeah, Wayne was waffling there at the end about the Derby, but you heard him tell Christina Baker that she's got a big hat horse, and anybody that's ever been to the Kentucky Derby knows what big hats are in Louisville that weekend, so I think he answered it for us right there.
I think it was just a mere sabbatical for Wayne missing last year. He's ready to come back. Mike Smith picking up his first Coolmore Lexington win. This is the 3rd in the career for Wayne Lucas. Also won it with War and, of course, with Charismatic. And Proud Citizen, a nice 1860 return. Crimson Hero 2nd. Easy from the get-go. The second choice coming in 3rd. The Exacta returning 142.60 and the Try 577.60 in the time of 144.2.
Ethan Man, the favorite, barely got his name called. I know before the race, Pat Byrne was a little concerned about the racetrack condition. He wasn't sure his horse had handled it that well in workouts. And I would guess the way he ran that he probably didn't handle the off-track too well this afternoon.
We have more racing ahead. The Tessio Stakes from Pimlico will be coming up. Proud Citizen, the winner of the Coolmore Lexington here at Keeneland. And ESPN, ESPN2 and ABC, your exclusive home for all the Stanley Cup playoff action. It continues tonight with the Philadelphia Flyers hosting the Ottawa Senators. Game 2 of the conference quarterfinals at 7 as the quest continues for the most hallowed trophy in all of sports, the Stanley Cup. Coolmore is the sponsor of the Lexington Stakes, known throughout the world for its breeding operations throughout the world, like the one in Australia, like the one at Ashford Stud, which is about 10 miles here from the Keeneland racetrack. And there's 2000 Kentucky Derby winner Fusaichi Pegasus. He's a world traveler these days. He will stand stud duties here through July and then go down to Australia in the middle of the summer. Charles C. Canty said she was out there a couple of days ago and took a look at some of the foals of Fusaichi Pegasus, and they just look spectacular, as you would probably imagine from a horse that sold for $4 million at one time here at Keeneland. Randy, we take a look at the final order of finish, of course, with Proud Citizen winning this race.
Proud Citizen continues a hot streak for his sire, Gone West. What a year it's been for Gone West. He not only has Proud Citizen now going to the Derby, probably, but he's got Came Home, the winner of the Santa Anita Derby, and Castle Gandolfo, the horse who accompanied Johannesburg over from Ireland, is also a son of Gone West. So quite a year for that stallion, and Proud Citizen there, as you see, heads up. Order finish with one tough fox at the rear.
Well, Crimson Hero comes in that closing second. I wonder if Nick Zito still has a Derby thought there.
Well, he probably doesn't have enough graded money to get into the field, even if he did have a Derby thought. So I think he'll have to point Preakness for Crimson Hero, if anything, I would think.
As Asmussen probably will with Easy from the get-go, the second and third place finishers here today.
Definitely.
Speaking of the Preakness, a race that has become a prep for that is the Federico Tessio. We've had horses go on to the Derby from there. Mostly, though, Randy, they've come out of there now to go from the Preakness like Marciano did last year.
And this year especially, only the number 2 horse there, Heir de Twine, has any graded earnings whatsoever. And that was not much. And this is not a graded stake, so none of these horses would even be eligible to get in the Derby in the event of an oversubscription. Here's the field, the Tony Dutrow trained entry, Derby Drive and Radio 1, 1 and 1A. There's Heir de Twine, number 2, the Sewickley kid. Smoked him, the second favorite from the barn of trainer Todd Pletcher. The odds-on favorite, Magic Wisner, and what a great story he is. He's won 5 races in a row. His dam was purchased by owner, trainer, breeder Nancy Alberts for $1. Just $1, and now Magic Wisner has earned more than $200,000 himself, and he's the odds-on favorite of the Tessio.
That is one of the best purchases in all of racing history.
I could make that one.
Now let's take a look earlier today at the Federico Tessio from Pimlico in Baltimore.
And they're off in the Federico Tessio. And sent to the front is Smoked 'em with early speed. Opens up a length early on, and Smoked 'em gradually getting over now to set the pace here by a length and a half. The Sewickley kid taken outside of that one in second, and Derby Drive riding the inside. Magic Wisner is going to rate off the pace in between horses into the first turn, as Radio 1 is on the outside of Magic Wisner, who's content to settle back in second last position. Magic Wisner has 1 beat. That's Heir de Twine, who trails the field. Moving around that first turn, and it's a comfortable pace out there for Smoked 'em, leading the way by a length to the Sewickley kid second. Derby Drive is third. Radio 1 wants to go on from fourth, tugging a bit there. Magic Wisner is in fifth, and 4.5 to 5 lengths off the lead. Heir de Twine racing inside of Magic Wisner. No particular hurry in the back there, as they're letting Smoked 'em get away with all the fractions. Smoked 'em out there at a comfortable pace. Got a bit of a breather. Leads it by a length and a half. The Sewickley kid second. Derby Drive inside, followed by Radio 1, Heir de Twine. Magic Wisner is 3 deep onto the far turn. Magic Wisner with a half-mile to go has improved 1 spot within 3.5 lengths off the lead, but gonna get caught wide. 3 wide around the far turn. Magic Wisner working forward into third around the turn. Smoked 'em 3/4 of a length. The Sewickley kid. Magic Wisner 3 wide bid with less than 3/8 of a mile to go, followed by Derby Drive, Heir de Twine. Radio 1 has given up, and they're at the top of the stretch now with a 1/4 of a mile to go. Here comes Magic Wisner on the outside. Magic Wisner with a 3 wide bid into the lane. Smoked 'em got to dig down for the challenge, and Smoked 'em's got a little more. Turning back, Magic Wisner with a furlong to go. The Sewickley kid out toward the middle of the track is Heir de Twine, and it Smoked 'em in front. Magic Wisner working very hard, gonna have to come up with some real magic to keep the streak alive. It's Smoked 'em, and the Mig is gonna dig in for the win on Smoked 'em, and he did it gate to wire. Smoked 'em, Magic Wisner solid second. Heir de Twine was third in the Sewickley kid. Then Derby Drive and Radio 1.
Smoked 'em is the winner, his 3rd win in 6 career starts now for trainer Todd Pletcher.
And Smoked 'em was beaten as an odds-on favorite by Heir de Twine in his last start. Pletcher thought that an extra fast workout, a too fast workout before that race, hurt his chances, and he sure bounces back. And my apologies to Nancy Alberts. It is Magic Wisner. The Jockey Club actually spelled the name wrong. It was supposed to be Wisner, but his 5-race win streak broken.
Baseball action. One thing we know, Randy, when you got legitimate speed, you don't want to let it get out there loose on the lead like the Mariners are doing in the AL West right now. The Oakland Athletics trying to keep them in sight. They take on the Anaheim Angels coming up tomorrow night. Sunday night baseball action presented by Nextel here on ESPN. That will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
But the Mariners backed up in the stretch last year, did they not?
Yes, they did. When we return, more from Keeneland and the Coolmore Lexington Stakes. This ESPN2 presentation of Citgo Racing to the Kentucky Derby is brought to you by Citgo, we know you. By Visa, proud sponsor of the Visa Triple Crown. Beechwood Aged Budweiser with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By Long John Silver's, how can you resist? And EquineLine.com, the official supplier of breeding and sales information to the NTRA. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database. For all the latest in horse racing information, be sure to catch Long John Silver's Racehorse Digest. Chris Lincoln will be there for the show on ESPN2 this Wednesday at 2 o'clock, previewing the California Gold Rush, taking a look back at some major stakes, including the Queen Elizabeth II. And a reminder, 1 week from tomorrow, that would be the 28th, it's the Triple Crown Special. Jeff Metters, Randy Moss and company will be there to tell you all about the Kentucky Derby, and maybe even Randy will guarantee who's going to win it. We don't know for sure, but that's next Sunday, a week from tomorrow at 2 Eastern on ESPN2. Mike Battaglia is the man who sets the Derby line for Churchill Downs, and he has Harlan's Holiday, then Buddha, Medaglia d'Oro, and Came Home, the top horses, and some pretty good prices all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarlin 15-1. Sunday Break is probably going to be 20-1, 15 or 20-1. So if he gets in, so a lot of good prices there.
The most asked question today as we were walking through the crowd at Keeneland of Randy Moss, who do you like in the Derby? Who's going to win it? So now, Randy, give us your top 10 2 weeks away.
And do I look like Joe Namath? I'm not about to guarantee anything. I guarantee, especially in this year's Derby field. The top 10 is not going to include Proud Citizen. He's not fast enough from the gate to get the lead in the Derby, and he hasn't shown he can come from off the pace. But as they scroll up, kind of a surprise #1 there in the minds of some people. Sunday Break. First, he's got to get in, though. He's number 23 on the list. I've got him #1, even though he was 3 wide around both turns in the Wood Memorial. He did have a perfect trip. He was sitting 3rd behind the Speed Duel. So there are varying ways to look at it. This was the Wood, and you see Buddha on the rail, Medaglia d'Oro in the middle. Sunday Break moves up outside, just about on even terms at this point. Fans a little wide, loses a little momentum. Maybe got a little tired. But getting beat a half length by those two horses is certainly not a bad thing. I was really kind of tossed up between Sunday Break and Buddha, but I think that the Derby winner is going to come out of the Wood Memorial. That's my opinion.
And certainly now I'd say the only second guessing they're having about Sunday Break is maybe we should have tried one more graded stakes race.
Oh, exactly, because they had that allowance race that they ran Sunday Break in. Neil Drysdale sneaked him from California and to Aqueduct to get that prep, but it was just an allowance race. It wasn't a graded stakes race, and now as a result, it looks like that Sunday Break may be up against the wall in terms of graded earnings. We'll see.
He didn't say for sure today, but we have a feeling that Wayne Lukas will be taking Proud Citizen onto the Derby after the win today. Up next on ESPN, the NFL Draft continues. For Randy Moss and Charles C. Canty, I'm Kenny Rice. Thanks for watching here at Keeneland today. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Proud Citizen is the winner of the Coolmore Lexington Stakes with Mike Smith aboard, and it looks like Wayne Lukas is back in the Derby picture. Thanks for watching, everyone.
On this week's show.
What he sensed.